Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd, and here with me I have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Quite a week. In basketball, men's basketball,
yeah,
women's
man.
basketball,
women's basketball. Oh shit, you're about to do this, aren't you? You're at to start the show.
To start the show, I yes. So,
oh god.
So I am an avid WNBA watcher, or I wouldn't say avid. I'm always plugged in at certain points or whatever. And, you know, someone that is a rather famous player over the last decade has been Maya Moore. Of course, UConn legend, multiple-time champion. I believe she's won an MVP or 2 or something like that.
I believe so. Maya was with was at UConn with Tina Charles, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. I think she was that edition. Yeah.
Okay. I believe she won maybe 3 national titles.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, man, but Maya Moore was in the news earlier this week on the timeline, and she was it was a touching story of, you know, of course, those of you guys that were following knew about her help basically dedicating this season to you know, she took a year off from the WNBA to fight for various social justice causes, and one of them happened to be she was getting a gentleman named Jonathan Irons out of prison for a crime that he did not commit. Mr. Jonathan Irons has been in prison, or had been in prison, for 23 years. So Michael Jordan numbers, literally. And he was freed this year. And there was like a video on the timeline, and, you know, when he came out, and, you know, they were celebrating together, and lo and behold,
Whoa. One thing to note about the video is that she damn near collapsed to the ground, or did collapse to the ground. I think hand hit concrete when hands hit concrete when it happened. So continue.
Yeah, like, so when I was following the story in real time, I was like, man, that's a really nice story. Like, she just got this guy out of jail. That's really nice. And then, you know, I essentially wiped it from my life. I'm like, well, I don't have to pay attention to that anymore. But the story came back up that apparently Maya Moore and Jonathan Irons, 2 months later, have gotten married.
Yes, and they announced it on Good Morning America. With Robin Roberts, they talked about how they fell for each other, and there was also a ESPN, PR, Twitter that pointed out that they're going to produce a documentary based on their story or following their life in the events, and continue on with the story. I'm just adding additional information as I saw it.
Yeah. So when this came across the timeline, I started thinking, and James started thinking as well, like, hold on, he was in jail for 23 years. How old is this guy? Maya Moore. She is in her early 30s, 2 and 2,
and he's 41.
Yeah, I'm like, well, when did they meet? So it was, according to the story, Maya Moore was headed towards, going to Yukon, and she was doing like some prison outreach thing through like the church and something, and it was like, some type of religious thing to where they reach out to prisoners and whatever, and then apparently they got connected and she fell in love all this time.
Okay,
or
so
it turned into love. Something happened, and Jonathan Irons has got the come up of all come ups, a Finesser of the Year nominee, because this is incredible what this man has accomplished.
The story that we were told by Maya Moore / them is that Maya Moore was 18. She was doing, as he said, some type of outreach work through her church when she was 18, and met him while he was in prison. And at the time he was 27 or 28, and she's 18.
Buddy must have had all the game.
Okay, so for me, once I hear that she was 18 and he's 27 or 28, the bat signal starts going off. The alarm starts sounding in my head. And
what alarm is that, James?
Oh, there may have been grooming. There's a high likelihood of grooming going on here. Now, the thing about the story is it's just a matter of time before somebody files a Freedom of Information Act, looks at his visitation call sheet, or figures out how to track whenever Maya Moore would have potentially first been to that prison. And we're going to find out exactly how old she actually really was at the time they first met. For their sake, I hope it really is 18. Because, look, even while it's 18 to 27 and 18, I still would find that to be a problem. It's gonna become a real problem for a lot more people when they find out that it was younger than 18. Then people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, this went from being like this great thing, this great story to this poor woman was groomed."
Well, I don't even think they would even take it like that, because like the tone of this was like, this is like this celebration essentially. She
deserves a medal. And until to be fair, I am being being cynical, or me and you being cynical. She may still be deserving of such a thing. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Because like I thought it was under this guise of like social justice work and turning over the wrongly accused. Yes, and it is all that. It is all that. But you know what else it was? She was trying to get the man that she loved out of jail. That's what's going on here. Jonathan Irons, I don't know what. Like, this man's an inspiration. Aim high, fellas. That's all you got to remember. Aim high.
Can you? Never mind. I'm not even gonna say it. And it's
this man has so that was 13 years ago. Throughout 13 years, he's kept this up, James.
So who's a better talent scout, Siobhan Wade or Jeremy Irons?
I think I would go towards Siobhan Wade because Mark has a much lower profile than Connecticut women's basketball. Like you let a Connecticut woman basketball player,
Okay, so
like Siobhan Wade, like there's more like she found a deeper cut with like way larger kind of success that went with it.
Yeah, and double down. Like Wade or Zaire was like what? Born when he was still in college, right? Or he was like 19 or 18 or some shit like that.
Yeah. He was a fowler in college by the time we had heard of him.
He was. By the time he had that triple double in the tournament, he was already a father. Yes.
Yeah. So just an incredible afternoon of Twitter. That was because there was those of us out on the side.
It wasn't many. It wasn't many.
Yes, there was people they're just celebrating this beautiful thing, and of course, ESPN's wrapping their arms around it. Good Morning America and Robin Roberts is wrapping her arms around it, and it's like this whole documentary thing, and then it's like, I smell the rollout. And I'm looking for the subtext here. So.
And I don't necessarily mind the rollout so long as like things were vetted. Please, just don't let this shit blow up in everybody's faces. Don't go. I don't want to say this, but don't come out here for these white people and embarrass the fuck out of us. Don't be
kept them in jail.
Because you already know this is shit. They could be like, this story that was put out here about all these, and they do out here doing this, like this could be really damaging to the quote unquote cause. So
that had to start the show. Like I sat here about 10 minutes before we were going out. I was like, I know there's something I wanted to talk about, and I had to like go all the way back through the group chat, which is hundreds and hundreds of messages, and find. Okay, my more, yes. But something else that happened this week, the LA Clippers had to get the fuck out of the bubble. And it was an amazing night on Twitter. Oh my God. Send Pat Bev to the Ukraine. Trade Paul George for everybody. Trade him for Air Bud. Like get Paul George out of here. Like Kawhi Leonard, all that load management for nothing. All that load management to load manage your ass out. He can manage all he wants now out the bubble at the crib. Like Doc Rivers, another 3-1 lead blown. Get him out of here. Like all this fake tough guy shit with the Clippers all year. Fuck out of here. We're grinders. We're we ain't Flash. Nah, remember all them billboards the fools put up?
That's the thing that I actually wanted to talk about that I find more interesting than the actual than them actually collapsing. Is that they are trying to brand themselves. They're moving out of Staples. I think they either bought the Forum or they're going to either play out of the Forum or they're going to renovate the Forum and play there in Inglewood, and they want their own identity, and they're basically taking the tact of, it's going on for a year now, the tact of like, we are the real LA, the people that work hard and are the real LA outside of, the stars, which is, the kind of thing you do when you're like, you're trying to appeal to a certain demographic that you already know that you can't that you can't get, right? Like the star power is always going to be LA in much the same way that like you look at New York sports teams, right? Like there is a huge contingency of Giants, Yankees, Knicks, and then there's also on the flip side there's the surrounding boroughs, which is like Islanders, Mets, Jets, and now Nets. So it's like you see that's what they're angling for,
But I got news for them. Like, the Lakers, this shit's too big, bro. Like, it's way too fucking big. There's way too many hardworking, working class people that are Lakers fans out there and have been for 60 years.
Right.
Like,
and the identity of trying to go against that is like the long-term play of success. And like, that's a 20-year down the line play, right? But it's like, at the same time, like the thought of a person that's, grown up and watched, the NBA and followed the Lakers for my whole life, is like, you're going to try this on the franchise that gave us Pat Riley and Kobe Bryant? Really? That's why it's always been like, no, people are going to reject that just wholeheartardly. It's like, no, that's not going to work at all, ever.
And you got these niggas like sitting out games and like, and quote unquote, not being hardworking out here and doing all this stunting before they ever win anything.
But yeah, that's
acting like they're already the champions.
Yeah.
Nah, man, get these niggas out of here.
Like that's the part from like the identity of the team on the court, which is interesting because like, or let me phrase that. That's the marketing part, right? That's like people in the team offices coming up with that stuff, right? That's PR, that's marketing.
Giving them Grand Theft Auto ass jerseys.
Yeah, San Andreas. And then like compare that to the season they had all year, where you mentioned the low management between and also the healing because Paul George still isn't right ever since his shoulder went out late last year. And then you talk about Kawhi's quad and whatever, and that's just a thing where it's like, wherever he goes for the rest of his career, he's going to be time management. He's going to be on low management for the rest of his career. Like, so when people talk about, is he the best player in the league? For a game, maybe. For a series, maybe. For a season, never. He's never going to play more than 70 games. He's never going to play 70 games in a season. Yeah. So, like, once you had that, and there were reports earlier in the year about, the guys that, helped build this thing. In a similar situation, like, stuff you kind of hear with the Nets from this year was like, last year, these were two overachieving teams. And it makes you think of, like, the Celtics from 2017 when they got Kyrie as well. It's like, you had these teams, they have a bunch of just, a bunch of nines or whatever. We're playing space, they have a bunch of nines. They don't have any face cards, but like they have these guys that they've, hit through drafts, through whatever to attain this talent that gets to a certain level, and that like you need a superstar or two to get them to the top where there's real contention going on. And if that person isn't someone that was drafted there and came up through the trenches, it seems to be a natural juxtaposition or a clash there where like eventually there needs to be some type of galvanizing factor, or it's never gonna be settled. And this, I'm not counting them out next year, but like this might be the thing that turns it around to where they realize that look, we don't have to embrace each other to make this shit work in the future. But never mind that. If that happens next year, that happens next year. We here today, and we here to talk about how they fucked this up. Because, bro, it was. We always talk about the playoffs, and we talk about matchups, and this was the clearest example of. And we never really thought of this because we never thought that Jokic would ever go off, and he went the fuck off. Like, I never even dreamed. Like, there was Game 6, he had a 15-point triple-double in the first 3 quarters of the game. And it was like, they would get these leads. They blew them out in game. The Clippers blew them out in Game 1. And then games 5, 6, and 7, the Clippers, every game had a double-digit lead. Like, some games 5 and 6, they were up like 20 at halftime.
Josh Smith resurrected out here.
It wasn't as ridiculous as that. Like that will never ever happen again. You gave them 1,000 more tries. That game will never happen again.
Jamal Murray outscoring George and Leonard by himself. This was giving 40 to Pat Bev.
This is the one where it's like you look at the matchup, and as it keeps playing, you're like, there's something here, but they're still in this hole, and I don't know if they can beat them 3 straight. I don't know if they can beat them, and it just kept going and going and going. It's like, once it got to Game 7, And the halftime lead was a smaller lead than it was in the previous games that came back. And you're watching the game, it's like, dude, they did a pretty good job on Murray throughout the series. And then Murray just took the fuck off in the second quarter, and he just kept it going. Like, as we get to the second half, he's like, bro,
cooking.
Where's Kawhi? Where's George? And like the thing with Kawhi was like, Kawhi, I will never say this. I will never say that in this game Kawhi quit. But he just, because he kept trying. It just, he would get bunnies at the rim out. Lou Will, same thing, rim out on an easy layup.
Lemon pepper Lou.
You know, like, below the free throw line, pull up, you know, you seen Kawhi make that 1,000 times. You almost never see him miss it. In and out. And it's like, what is going on? And then, you know, it's more, these idiots, Jokic gets if he gets inside the 3-point line, never double team him.
He's going to pass the ball.
Like, it's like, okay, do you double team LeBron in the post? No, because you realize that's fucking stupid. He's like the other guy that's as big as LeBron, that's that good a passer maybe ever in the league. Don't double team him. And then he just kept swinging the ball around, and dudes are just they got to a point now where they got so desperate in Game 7 where there was the Jokic Murray ball screen. They will put either Kawhi or Paul George on Jokic to try to handle the ball screen because Harold was just getting destroyed. Harold and Lou couldn't guard it at all. And once that happened, that meant that like Gary Harris and like Jeremy Grant was being guarded by Montrezl Harrell. Jokic would get the ball, or he would slip the screen and get the ball and just immediately find the cutter that's just like, Harold had his foot speed. They were playing Harold off the court. And it was just like, yo, this is so bad. And then like, you know, like after the game, really for me, I didn't believe they were actually going to beat them until all of a sudden, like, they were up 15 with like 6 minutes to go or something like that. Maybe less. And Murray hit a 3-pointer, go up 18. I was like, oh my God, this is over. I can't believe they lost to this team. And they were just done. And, you know, after the game, you hear this stuff about like, you know, with Lou and Harold, and because one of the times they both left the bubble for different reasons, both for funerals, they never got back in the groove and whatever else. And it's like, that's cool. Why does Paul George and Kawhi Leonard have 2 points in the second half of a fucking elimination game, of Game 7? Like, I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
You know, at the end of the day, Clippers gonna clip. You know, they are Eric Piatkowski. They are Darius Miles. They are Corey Maggette. They are Michael Olakandi. They are Danny Manning. They are Ron Harper. They are all types of random sorry people that have been there over the years. They are washed up Baron Davis. They are Elton Brand at the end.
Oh, man.
This is who they are. They are Lloyd Vaught. They are Bill Walton when he's broke down. They are Dominique Wilkins when he's mailing it in. Oh my God. Who else? Who else played for the Clippers, James? Can you think of?
Ooh, I was thinking Mo Williams when they traded him after LeBron left.
Oh my God. They are Lamar Odom after the Dallas Mavericks. This is who they are. This is what this is you. You know, embrace it. This is the Clipper way. Allergic to the West Finals, you know?
Yeah, I think it's 49 years of existence, and they never made it to a conference final.
Allergic.
Like, that should be impossible.
Yo. Steve Ballmer, $2 billion, can't buy your way to the Western Finals. Shameful. Eric Piatkowski.
So,
Mikey Moore.
I was thinking to myself about, you mentioned earlier about like great NBA days on Twitter. And I can't think of a day where Twitter erupted with just laughing at somebody since like the Warriors blew that 3-1 lead in the finals to the Cavs. That's the last time I remember where like people were just like, oh my god, y'all have all this cash, all the prancing and whatever else, and not, and you know, in the showboating, and the time has come. Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary. So, yeah, like it was like you watching, you like, you would listen. I would listen to other podcasts. I was listening to the Windhorse podcast. I listened to the Zach Lowe podcast. I listened to the Ringer NBA podcast. I was listening to the SI podcast or it doesn't have Andrew Sharp anymore. Ben Golliver. I was listening to a bunch of stuff, all the inside NBA, all the insidery stuff. In like the one that really stood out for me was the Windhorse one, where they have Tim McMahon and Nick Friedel, and Tim McMahon is I remember if he's either a LA guy or a Laker, used to do Laker coverage, or he used to do Dallas coverage. I can't remember, but Friedel is Chicago Bulls report, you know, beat reporter or beat writer. So when that light came on, Tim McMahon gave what I would call like gave him the white man Stephen A. blues to the Lakers, or to the Clippers. I have not, like, he was just like, all the stuff we've gone over, he was going over it too, and I'm like, but he's a reporter for the league, and he's like, he couldn't stand like how you know, act like they've already won something that the Clippers were, and I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. And then Windhorse is replying like while trying to get McMahon in order, because he's like he's cutting off Friedel and Windhorse in the middle of points to get these rounds off, get these shots up, and then Windhorse pointed out like, my phone has been nonstop messages from people you won't believe, people in the league, executives, players, even owners that were out here giving the Clippers the blues. And he's like, just imagine what is going on from the players talking to the other players about this. And I was like, yo, I did not realize they disliked this team that much, but it's like, I knew they were unlikable, but I didn't know like it was like this.
You are Ricky Davis.
Oh, yeah, that's another one good one. Yeah. Oh, man.
This is who y'all is, you know.
You want to say Wash Sam Cassell? Did you mention that?
Wash Sam Cassell, that's a real good one, you know. Yeah. You are Jamario Moon, you know. You are Bull Outlaw. You are Cherokee Parks. You are Olden Polynice. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. So, rest in peace, Clips. And we'll holler at y'all in 2021, because that's probably when the NBA started back up for y'all. Yeah. And it's all on the line, because if they don't win, if one of those two dudes leave after next year, like, boy, the Clippers could just be like dead for a decade. Literally till 2028. Yeah, that's how many. They don't have their own draft pick. They don't have their own draft pick until 2029. Yes. Yeah, like, cause it's what it's 3 draft picks, so you can't get back. I love it. So that goes back 6 years, and then after that, the remaining 2 picks are pick swaps. So they won't have their own pick until like 2029. I'm doing the Dwayne Wade meme. I love it. And yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I all year this was a thing. Like, Clippers Lakers was like the de facto NBA Finals for a lot of people. Not no more. You look at the bubble now, and it's like the 3 teams that you thought could actually win the title, there's only one left. Like, amazing. And I'm watching game 1, and I'm like, this is going about exactly how I thought. Like, Anthony Davis guarding Jokic can happen. Dwight Howard can guard Jokic. Jokic can't guard Anthony Davis for nothing. Much respect to the Nuggets, because Nuggets, once they got down 3-1, they could have laid it down. But Murray and Jokic, so this I will not have. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, hey, man, that's their second time back to back this in the
No
playoffs.
one's ever done that.
Yeah, I mean that there's only been 13 of them, I think. Series turning around after going down 1-3. So yeah, like I'll give him the respect, but like that game one went exactly how I thought, and like for me, it was like I don't recall a time. I think this is LeBron's easiest path to the play or to the finals, or not to the finals, but to a ring.
I don't know.
What was easier?
Some of the times where he was playing teams that didn't win 50 games in the conference finals and shit
no. Because
playing 41 win teams in the second round.
Eventually, once you get to the finals or the East Conference finals, you have to play a real team.
No,
what's the real team
not necessarily.
All right, what's the team? Okay, name me the playoff series where he eventually didn't run into a team that was better than any team he's playing in the playoffs right now or would play potentially.
I know those Hawks definitely was trash.
The 2016 Hawks?
Yes.
They played the 2016 Warriors in the next round, Rich.
Who'd they play before that, though?
No. But when we're talking about the road, I'm talking about, like, eventually you have to run into a roadblock. All I see is, like, speed bumps. I don't see any hazard signs and lights and saying the road is closed.
But I think he's actually playing against like real star players and shit like that. Like it's not like you're waiting till the conference finals to see somebody that can start an all-star game or something like that. Like we knew how the East get down. Like they'll play somebody that's under 500 in the first round, somebody that has won like 42 games in the second round, a team that's won like 48 games in the second round, and then they'll get to the finals and see somebody. That's why it'd be like, hey, the East was weak for all them years, especially like 2013, shit like that.
Well, potentially he's about to go through the West in as much the same fashion he used to go through the same East teams.
Well, when you got Anthony Davis,
But wait, so now you turn the corner. You like Anthony Davis now because you'll give me some times to complain about. Like I'd be like, he had 40 tonight. Well, 15 of them free throws. I'm like, who gives a shit? So like, I don't know. Have you turned the corner on AD now or what?
No,
because you were long. I used to have to tell you. I remember telling you years ago, like, hey, it was gonna be great, and you used to always be like, not. Like, you wasn't so sure. And I don't know if you ever, had a conversation where you were like, yeah, I'm sure now. I don't know if it's because of the injuries or whatever else or what.
Yeah, I just never really enjoyed his game. Like many of the people on the Lakers this year. So, like, this is zero fun for me. Like, I'm just like, whatever. Zero fun to root for Dwight Howard. Zero fun to root for Rajon Rondo. Zero fun to root for J.R. Smith.
Dion Waiters.
Who else we got? Good God. KCP. Zero fun. Like, yeah. So beggars can't be choosers, I guess.
I don't know. What was I going to say? I mean, as we move on to wrestling now, right? Is there anything else?
I think that's it.
All right, yeah. There's your basketball coverage. Yeah, so I guess we start off with the Wednesday shows like normal. So, Rich, you have your Dynamite notes up or whatever?
Yeah, I can get them, but man, what a fucking show. I love this show a lot. 50th episode of Dynamite, by the way, for those that count that kind of thing. And what a 50th show it was, because you had a bunch of great wrestling. You had some promos that and some segments that set some stuff up and just showed like kind of good signs of where things are headed. So let me get these results here that I have in my notes. And it was headlined by that big parking lot fight. We knew that shit was coming, and the thing I said on the show last week was this shit better deliver, and it fucking did.
Oh yeah, that match is great.
So we opened up. Jurassic Express was already in the ring. That's funny. For their match against FTR, Bucks came out and hit the referee with the super kicks. Announcers are like, man, what's wrong with the Bucks? And then, they talked about being fine. They immediately walked back and then threw money at Tony Khan and paid their fine in advance. Tony Khan's just sitting there like, what the fuck's going on?
So, quick question. Are they on Instagram buying the fake stacks?
the fake money?
Yes.
I mean, they have their own money, James. What would they need fake money for?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. It could just be like the canon money. That could just be that.
The young buck.
That would be a bad look though, because like, what if someone's out here on HD camera and he catches like, oh, that's Bucks. You're like, that's not. You're really out here thinking that's real currency? Arrest these men for counterfeiting. They'll throw you under the jail for some counterfeiting. Can you imagine? Reaching your pocket? You go to the bank.
Pull out a young buck.
You ain't even paying attention. All of a sudden, you go to hand out something with a Lincoln on it, and instead of a Lincoln, it's a fucking Matt Jackson. Oh no!
No! Are the Young Bucks in the same line of currency as the Okada Bucks? Like, is it like the same like kind of tender?
Yes.
And the Okada Bucks are yellow or gold.
Yeah, but I don't know what yen look like, so I don't know. I can't. Because our money, oh my god! But our money normally is like considered
green.
Thank you, D'Angelo Barksdale. No, what I meant to say is like more foreign money around the world, like paper money, is like Canadian money, for example. Like it's colorful. Like we just have green and that's it. Like some places have like yellow, blue, orange, purple.
We out here lacking. We need to diversify the funding.
That's what I'm saying. Like we need to get out. We need to come out here and
Hey Sam, if you're hearing this, all Australia guys that listen to the show, what does your money look like? Tweet us a picture of like your dollar bills or anyone that's in Europe or Canada that's hearing this. I want to see what y'all money looks like.
Yes, our foreign brothers and sisters, we want to see what your currency look like.
Yeah.
Like just I don't know, One Nation Radio money and then picture and throw your flag in or whatever else. But
your
flag emoji. Yeah, it's just like now I already know what's gonna happen the second we get our own color-coded money for each denomination. I already know what's gonna happen. There are gonna be people that are going to take pictures with a matching that has their outfit matching the particular color of that denomination of money, and it's gonna be a bunch of it, and they'll be taking pictures, and like this might be this is oddly specific to the people that me and Rich are gonna be hanging out with, and we're gonna be like, we knew this was gonna happen. We knew this was gonna happen. Yeah, okay, whatever. You like it, I love it. So, and I'm gonna sit there, I'm gonna laugh. He's like, I'm just gonna sit there and laugh.
So the Bucks then crossed paths with FTR, who kind of like give him some shit. They were giving the shit-eating grin, basically. They came out there and then they wrestled Jurassic Express, and this was probably one of my favorite FTR matches that they've done since they have come in.
Like a straightforward tag team match, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. This probably is their best straightforward tag team match. Like I really liked their match with Private Party, and this was better. This was a lot better than the Lucha Bros match.
Yeah, and Jungle Boy I think looked great in this match, and
I thought everyone looked great.
Yeah,
I thought FTR looked sharp.
Yeah,
they were on their shit this week.
Lots of kickouts and stuff that I would buy. Essentially, but yeah, this is a really good opener. FTR got the win over the Jurassic Express. It was pushed as a non-title match, and most times when you do a non-title match, the champion will lose or something like that. They're just keeping these guys strong, and I think they moved to 9-0 if I'm not mistaken. So I wouldn't be beating them anytime before they face the Bucks. So. After that, Raw, Shivani, and Excalibur previewed the rest of the show, and then Marvez ran up on Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy was down, and he was selling his knee. Then Private Party was, they were back there with him, and they were like, well, we don't know what happened to him. And then all of a sudden, Jericho and Hager show up, and Jericho's carrying the baseball bat, and they implied that it was Jericho who basically took out Matt Hardy, but we don't know. So
yes, he took him out with isn't the baseball bat name's Floyd?
Floyd,
yeah, took him out with Floyd the bat,
Then Kenny Omega came out to the commentary desk for the next match, and then Tony Schiavone said Omega had been offered a chance to make this a tag team match, but he refused because Kenny said that he's a singles competitor now. Good point, Kenny. After that, we got Hangman Page versus Kazarian, and I was looking forward to this match, and this was awesome. Kenny was on commentary making all these like shady remarks towards Hangman, which I found hilarious. But these two were in the ring just beating the shit out of each other, doing a bunch of cool spots, incredible timing between them both, and just a lot of impressive stuff. I love this match.
Yeah, Kazarian, whenever he gets in there with a pushed guy in AEW, he delivers. Singles, tags for the most part, the overwhelming most part. But like in singles, I don't think he's missed once. I don't, obviously that's his role, is to, have good matches with guys and lose. But as somebody that is established on the roster, but he does a great job with it. He really does. Yeah.
If you close your eyes, it's almost, or kind of squint your eyes, especially since he's growing the hair back and the gear that he's wearing in the tan. It's like a hard working version of a shorter Randy Orton.
Yep, I thought the same thing. I cut you up. I thought the same thing. I was like, yeah, I can see it. I thought it. Yep.
But this was a great match. Paige got a win, and Paige hasn't gotten much singles work throughout this year because he's been in the tag team.
And also when he was at the beginning of of COVID, he was away. I don't think he did. Did he do any Georgia stuff? I don't think so. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. What do you think of him? This is not his second time doing an AEW show in Jacksonville in the tail end of the summer with the long pants on. Is he crazy?
I like the trunks more.
As far as the fashion choice, I don't care. It's fine, but it's this ain't the time to do that. You might want to wait until December, my guy.
Yeah, he might be trying to just get a new thing over, but he's waiting for Kenny to come, essentially salute him in the ring or celebrate with him. But Kenny's like, nah. Kenny was awesome on commentary. All the comments that he would make were just hilarious, quite frankly, and saying, yeah, this is the time where essentially this asshole would tag me in and I would come clean this shit up. Oh man. And then Hangman's drinking a beer at the end, and whatever, but the story moves forward from here.
No. We're not gonna just skip over that. He wanted desperately for Kenny to give him an attaboy after the match, and then he turned around and Kenny was already halfway into the tunnel, and he turned around and he moped, and then he grabbed some beer and he was trying to drink his pain away. Adam Page is more emo than Darby Allin ever will be. I just wanted to make that point.
What should he write on his chest?
Sucker.
Sucker. Why you don't love me, Kenny?
Because you fucked over my friends, you asshole. That's why.
Oh man.
I'm friends with you, and you have screwed over my other friends. You have put me in a terrible position. A terrible position.
Oh, amazing. So after that, video package played, hyping up the parking lot fight. Then MJF came out, sheened up, I might add.
David Otunga would have been proud of that, of this white man, just drenched.
Shining. He's like, I'm going to get a tan one way or another. If I'm under the sun.
2,000 15, 16, Alberto Del Rio would have been proud of this man's oilage.
Wearing the grease. Like, then he took on Sean Dean. He gave him a thumb to the eye and immediately put him in the salt of the earth to win.
That's what he calls it?
Yeah.
All right.
The Fujiwara armbar.
Yeah.
Warlow beat up Sean Dean after the match, and then MJF cut a promo, immediately recognizing like this man wore this grease because he didn't intend to really tussle.
Yes. Like he would have never, like if he was gonna go like 12 minutes with Jungle Boy, he never would have worn all that grease. You asshole! Like it was just like the funniest thing ever. It's like I am about to enhance the presentation.
About to rub it on myself, you know. So he said that he's an honest man, unlike that cheater John Moxley. He demanded that Justin Roberts introduce him as the undefeated, undisputed, uncrowned champion of AEW. That's a lot of U's, bro.
Yeah.
He said to get any attention on Dynamite. At least he's not the underdog from the underground. So what's up?
At least he's not the underdog from the underground. So
true. Good point. So like, I know that anyone can show up. Why hasn't Sami Zayn, the underdog from the underground, been in Raw Underground yet?
Oh, well, he's a heel now, and that's been dropped years ago.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Man.
That's when they're at the beginning of screwing up his face run, and then, you know. I heard he's back now, and he's doing, like, the Shawn Michaels, hey, like, I'm the real IC champion thing.
Yeah. Poor guy. Said to get any attention on Dynamite, you had to be in a stable. He said there's a new faction every week. And he said whether he picks a group or to be a part one, it doesn't matter because he's better than you and you know it. I don't really know the point of this, but, MJF gets to talk.
Yeah.
So then they did a technique with Taz for Ricky Starks, and they talked about his different grips that he uses to do his finish. I forgot what it's called. It's like the Rochambeau or something. I forgot what it was, but
I think it was Rochambeau.
Yeah, that's it. And it's like his Dominator, and they talked about him doing the spear, and I'm like, man, I've seen him do it to Will Hobbs, so he can do this move to big people, right? Mm-hmm. But it feels like the spear ain't enough for him. He needs to keep, figuring it out. And I know him and Chris, he used to use the Angel's wings like Christopher Daniels, but obviously you're not going to do that. So I think he should keep going, get another alternative finish, because I don't know if the spear's gonna. I don't feel like Ricky Starks big enough to really do the spear like that. Eddie Kingston, he then came to the ring with Pentagon and Phoenix. Butcher and Blade were out there dressed in the white. And he said he never lost a Casino Battle Royal. He said the group isn't a faction or stable. They're a family. Immediately responding to MJF. And he said after they fight, some families go to dinner. And he said his family celebrates with violence. And Butcher and the Blade then pulled a couple of geeks out the crowd, beat their asses. Kingston then said for the Blade, like, it's time to go get your house in order. And that can only mean one thing.
They are going to murder QT Marshall. I can't wait. I may buy a shirt. It's going to be great. It's going to be excellent.
Whenever, they want to trade Lucha Libre or street fighting skills, QT will be ready. So,
yeah. Do you think this leads to just like that faction versus Nightmare Family?
I guess maybe. Do you think Cody gets involved with them?
I'd imagine so. Like, it's something for him to do. Like, they put they put his ass in the hospital looking at MASH for months, and then it's like, I'm here for my friend or whatever else. We have our backs. It's the Nightmare Family, and they can finally do something to explain, like, why the fuck, like, the Bunny left the Blade to go fuck with QT Marshall. Like, that could be at play finally, where they pull that Dynamo. Like, we've been pulling the wool over your eyes for whatever reason, and they can do more. they can get to, because think about it. Once that happens, then all of a sudden it's like, you already know what's gonna happen. The Bunny versus Brandy again. So it's like, I can see it. I'm not saying I necessarily want that faction part of it, but it's like, I don't know where Cody goes from here. It will finally give them something to do or some force to go against from the babyface side for Kingston and the gang. So yeah, I can see it.
After that, Private Party came out and they said that Moxley and Archer will be on opposite sides of a 6-man tonight, and they're going to pick their partners. So after that, we got Hager and Jericho against Private Party. I thought this was pretty good also. Jericho and Hager 2 for 2, I think. And I'm liking Jake Hager versus non-WWE people. But Jericho and Isaiah Cassidy at the end, like, he sold the Judas Effect. I fucking loved it. Like, he fucking drilled this guy. I thought this was really good. This was probably one of Private Party's, like, one of their top 3 to 5 matches I've seen them in. They did basically an angle at the end where it looked like Jericho and Mark Quinn would be going, they stared each other down pretty hard, so we'll see if that continues.
Didn't Mark Quinn clear him out the ring?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what'd you think of this one, James?
I thought the match was okay. I didn't really like it that much, but it was fine. I'm more intrigued by, Jericho potentially mixing up with Private Party than that match we saw, but Jericho's going to be in this tag division. He's more or less filling in for the broken up Hangman and Kenny. So it seems like they're set. They're that's where they're going now. Who do you want to see them wrestle in the future? Or let's say after this. Like, I don't think this is over. Like, I think we're actually going to get a Mark Quinn versus Jericho match. But I mean, like, once they're done with Private Party or / Matt Hardy, because that could be at play as well. Like, where do you think the Jericho Hager tag team goes from there? Like, what do you want to see them do on pay-per-view?
I think they would be a good team to fight Jurassic Express and to give Jurassic Express a big win over.
And they can go back to the time limit match.
Boy. Yep.
Yeah, the time limit match. Yeah, was it 5 minutes?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. If they weren't healing the Bucks right now, because I think you kind of just want to keep them in Private Party or them in FTR together.
Yeah, I think you want to save that too.
Yeah, I would have the Bucks beat them too, but I don't know when.
Gotcha.
Trying to think other babyface teams that are out there. SCU, nah, not really. Man, what other teams?
They can do heel versus heel.
Best Friends like impressed me more than they have at any time. I think.
Well, that's because it wasn't a regular rules match.
Yeah. Actually, the last time they did one of those was pretty good too, against Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc. But maybe they get in there with Kip and Miro.
Are we sure they're actually going to go forward with them as actually like a package deal? Like
I don't know.
Miro and Penelope?
I don't know.
All right.
Not sure yet. But, they'll find somebody to fight.
Yeah. They'll pull someone in without, like, they're not leaving Jericho off the card.
Yeah. So they announced for Late Night Dynamite, it's going to be Scorpio Sky versus Ben Carter. That should be really good. Anna Jay versus Brandy Rhodes, and then Matt Sydal versus Shawn Spears, and that's going to be after Inside the NBA. I will not be staying up till 12:30 to watch that. I'll probably just catch it the next day.
I don't watch Dynamite. I'm not going to watch Darkamite.
What?
I'm sorry. I don't watch Dark. I'm not going to watch Darkamite because this is like the in-between. Like, it is like they're trying to give it a look. Like, it's on TV, but it's on late. And you look at that card and it's like, that's real darkish. Like, I'm sure they'll give it the college try. Like, it's already taped, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know if the word on if the stuff was the quality of the stuff, but like, I'm sure it'll be entertaining for those that'll tune in to watch it. But it's like I got too much on my plate. Like the G1 just started. I can't.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be checking out this Scorpio Sky and Ben Carter match because Ben Carter's like super prospect. So after that, we got Thunder Rosa and Ivelisse. So this match caused some chaos, apparently.
Can we talk about the match first and then get to that?
Well, I think the chaos is the match.
Okay.
Apparently.
All right.
So when I was watching it, I didn't think anything was necessarily awry. I thought they were just having a match. Oh, they hitting.
I thought they were I thought they were having a match where like they hit each other hard and like meant on purpose, like it was intentional. Like the idea was like we're not gonna have like it was like Tegan Nox kind of wrestles now that she's kind of like found herself in the ring in NXT where like she'll hit you.
Yeah.
And it sounds off. And it's like it is not like I'm potatoing somebody, but like these shots are crisp.
Yeah, so a lot of Thunder Rosa stuff like looked very explosive and like she's quickly become one of my favorite women's wrestlers that are around. Ivelisse, she was alright in this match. She ended up losing via tombstone, but apparently something went wrong and there was a element. They were not flat out shooting on each other, right? But it was like stiff shots. Something someone didn't appreciate. There was a backstage story about Ivelisse cussing out a very respected agent. You know, we don't know who that is yet, but
so was it Arn or Dean Malenko?
I would think it's Dean Malenko or Dustin. Like
I forgot Dustin was an agent. I forgot.
Yeah, I would think it's one of those two. But yeah, Ivelisse always. She never really sticks anywhere because she's carrying a long reputation. It seems like it's flared up here. What would you do, James? Because at this point, she has to know her reputation, right?
Yeah. Most people have the self-awareness to know like how people view them or the rep they have, or have some idea at least. I mean, and she also has internet access. So I've heard that like it was just a simple receipt. I've heard something which like, oh yeah, they shot, and then I saw a clip of her no selling some rest hold, and then I saw and then I also read that like this is overblown. This is just simply like a receipt. So I don't know what to make of this, and like, but what I will say is like, until I heard this, this was not like, I just thought we were having a match, and it was a good match. I probably would have gave it 3.5, but like 3.25, 3.5. But like, I never thought that this was like, oh my god, like they're going, somebody is upset or whatever else. Like,
I'm not following the script,
right? Yeah. Goldberg. So. Like at no point did this turn into Deonna Purrazzo versus Tessa Blanchard.
Oh yeah.
At no point did this turn into that.
That was a shoot.
Yeah, that is. It broke down into a shoot for a while. Like, nah,
Yeah, man.
So maybe it was weird to me. It was weird to me. Like, I remember last year there were reports that like Mayu, when she was in Ring of Honor, had quote unquote, there were shots that were thrown in a match between her and Kelly Klein, and then there was some argument or it maybe even gotten physical backstage. I'm just like, I saw the match. I didn't see anything, so I don't know. Like, people take things differently, and it's like, so I don't know. I just don't know. But luckily no one got hurt during whatever misunderstandings they were having, if there was a misunderstanding to begin with, because it seemed to me like this. It looks to me like this may have just been a receipt thing.
Yeah. If I'm Tony Khan, I'm getting to the bottom of this immediately. And like, Thunder Rosa doesn't even work for this company, and it's like your reps on the line as a promotion. You have a guest there. You have someone that's not even under contract on Ivy Lee's causing issues. Got to figure this out. And I think it's the case of like, if Ivy Lee's does anything further from here, she's got to go. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if she's on the way out the door now, especially with, there's a reason that she was available. Like,
yeah, I just, you look at how many talented women that AEW or WWE has snatched up, and it's like, well, if you want to have women's wrestling and to be of the quality of NXT or something approaching it, or the stuff you see when like the best women on the main roster hook up, like it might be a situation where like you're gonna have to overlook some things, right? Like, but if
there's one thing that it would totally go against the character of the company, because there's one thing about like, I always hear wrestlers in AEW in like every interview, they talk about like the backstage dynamic and how everything is like this tight knit family and this great locker room that they've never been in before. And then the second Ivy Lee's comes in there, I feel like you can have one knucklehead, maybe even two, but like
it's the basketball team,
right. But there's got to be somebody that's always literally willing to check her, whether it's management or something, because like,
so you really so I don't know what else has there anything else like really concrete has been said about her behavior backstage that's making you feel this way, or do you feel, or you just feel like this is enough of a warning right now?
I think this
is a warning
like,
sign. I mean,
like cussing out like the agent, like with all the profanity.
Oh, so you believe this? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And whatever happened in the ring, I mean, if you clearly know, like, you can end up with a contract here, and you gonna act like this before you got the contract? Like, come on, man. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it seems like it's nothing I would necessarily tolerate. I'm like we can find and I get it. You feel like, you're scraping the, you like
open box special.
Correct. Like, she's like, you're getting Ivy Lee's on the like there's a she's in she's in a discount bin, for the lack of a better word, right? Because clearly like her talent outweighs the whatever. In many ways, she's a lesser Tessa Blanchard, like in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they feel like they have to deal with it, because thus far, like, they've kept the locker room, like, no matter, if it's a male or female talent, they've kept the locker room, like, relatively, like, you don't hear these stories that are out there that someone's being a nuisance or cussing someone out. Like,
yeah,
you don't hear that stuff here. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I bet she's going to be doing a job next week.
Well, one thing I will say is, like, I understand that we are we are now treating wrestling locker rooms similar to, like, how the Milwaukee Bucks want to treat their locker room, whereas, like, they have a no asshole rule.
Uh-huh.
No, it's like people were talking about, like, they need to make a trade, Chris Paul bald or whatever else, and they're like, well, the Bucks have this no asshole rule, and Chris Paul clearly is an asshole. Like, he's going to demand a certain amount of excellence, and it is what it is. So, maybe that's how we kind of want the wrestling locker rooms to be, but, like, I think it's okay for like, for there to be an outburst every now and then. I don't think it needs to be like I don't think it needs to be like the Shaq, like the 2004 Lakers locker room, but like I think it's okay for like something like this to happen every blue moon. But if that's a situation where you feel like, a rotten apple spoils the bunch, then maybe the rotten apple needs to be chucked aside. So, I don't really think I'm really kind of hands off on it. Like, I think if something else comes up, then we're having a different discussion. That's kind of where I'm at. But, You know, I haven't followed the reporting on it, obviously. So, like, you know, I'm just going off of like your tenor, and you sound like you kind of like you on the edge. Like it might be time for her to ski daddle.
Yeah, get the fuck up out of here. Like they've already. I don't know. No, I think it's live. Their next show. So,
okay.
Diamante ran in after the match and attacked Thunder Rosa, and then Sheeta jumped the rail, made the save, and then handed Thunder Rosa her belt. So they announced a tag match, the champs against the medal holders. So they showed Miro bench pressing a bunch of, fake weight. After that, they said Kip Sabian, he said, let's get in the ring and devour somebody. But he said, hey, man, you got to throw this bachelor party first. And then Miro promised the best bachelor party ever. And they fist bumped with Penelope Ford.
Now, if this bachelor party ends up in the ring, sports entertainment.
So, Jake Roberts and Lance Archer came out. Jake cut a promo and basically talked about being in the bed with the Tasmanian Devil. Look, last week I said I don't be trusting Jake like that. I don't think he went off the rails this week. I thought he was fine. Then Taz came out and said that he and Jake made a deal that Ricky Starks and Brian Cage will be Archer's partners next week, provided Cage gets the first shot at Archer when Archer wins Moxley's title. I love it because these heels want to fight each other, and just some shit's gonna go wrong, and that shit ain't never happening. But
yep, like that shit's gonna blow up because they're assholes, and whoever screws up is not their fault; it's the other person's fault. So,
yep. So
I want to see that match too. So
yeah. So Moxley came out from wherever the fuck he was hiding in the building, and then he started cutting a promo. But all of a sudden, some fans jumped on his ass, but they weren't fans. It was Brian Cage and Ricky Starks started beating that ass, and then all of a sudden, Big Will Hobbs shows up with the chair, making the save for the world champion, and runs these boys off. And what a fucking debut, a reintroduction for Will Hobbs this was. And Moxley basically wraps his arm around Hobbs and says this is Oakland's most violent something or whatever, gave him a nickname or whatever, and said he wants Will Hobbs to be on his team. And he basically started talking to Darby Allin like The Rock was talking to everybody before he won the title back from CM Punk, but he was looking directly at Darby Allin and said, get your ass on a plane and come join with me next week. So this whole presentation, like with the promos, the jump zone, Will Hobbs coming out, excellent.
Yeah, very, very well done. I have a question for you. How fast did you realize that was Ricky Starks?
I figured right away because I didn't see those guys in the ring.
I saw it was Ricky Starks before Ricky Starks jumped over the barricade or jumped over the divider from the seat. Because, you look at the camera because he sits down, he has the mask on, and it's like, that's odd. And I looks like, oh, that's Ricky Starks. They finna jump this man. That's exactly what I. And then I howl because I love nothing more wrestling than watching some unsuspecting schmuck getting his ass whooped, somebody run up on him. And the best part was I don't know when this became a thing in wrestling, because my whole entire life has always been a thing. There has always been a thing about jacked up, yoked up motherfuckers on the gas or somebody with a physique showing up for some physicality to wrestle, fight, tussle, scrap, brawl, fisticuffs, whatever you want to call it, a Donnybrook with no shirt on, tight jeans, and some fucking Oxfords or loafers, basically dress shoes. Since the beginning of my entire wrestling life, there's always been a thing, a staple, and I don't know why, but it always makes me laugh. It's like, what are you showed up to jump this man with no shirt on? Where's your shirt, Nick? I almost called him Nick Cage. Where's your shirt, Brian Cage? It's ridiculous. But it worked because it's stupid wrestling. So, whatever. 5 stars. 5 star segment.
so well booked. And if you guys remember, like about a month ago, Will Hobbs wrestled Darby Allin on TV and gave him hell in those couple minutes that he fought with him. And,
I need this.
Yeah, so I guess Hobbs immediately gets thrown in there. I don't know if he's going to take the pin. If it was me, I'd beat Ricky Starks next week, but I don't know. So I don't know if you have the baby faces win. I don't know if you have the heels win here, but if the faces lose, Hobbs is definitely taking the pin. Unless Starks beats Darby. I think that's the only other finish there.
I think the only two people that I know aren't getting pinned are Moxley and Cage. I think anybody else can be pinned.
So you think Archer can be pinned?
Oh, shit. Not Archer. So I'm sorry. So I take that back. There are three people that can be pinned. Hobbs, Darby, or Starks.
Yeah. So...
thank you for that correction. Be like, this fucking idiot thought you gonna pin Archer. Complete like brain omission. Sorry.
So let's take a look at this lineup. So let's think about where all these people were like a year ago. Like like Lance Archer's in the G1. Yep. Brian Cage is like an Impact somewhere. Ricky Starks is like in some indie in Texas. Who knows? Moxley's in the G1 as well. Will Hobbs, don't know where he was wrestling, but he probably like Northern California. And Darby Allin was like, just coming on the national television radar after being in like Evolve. So this is just like lots of new faces that have gotten over, and you care about them. So they announced also next week Mr. Brody Lee versus Orange Cassidy for the TNT title. I predicted that match would happen. Didn't know it would be this fast and kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That tag match, and then Jericho has a promo for next week's Dynamite, so I'm sure they'll add another match as well, because usually they advertise 4. But why we're here, the main event, the parking lot fight, best friends, Santana and Ortiz beat the shit out of each other.
Yep.
Violence, creativity, presentation,
blood and guts.
Blood and guts in the back. Bleeding in places where you don't really see people bleeding.
Well, Santana got his forehead split open too.
Oh, okay.
Or he gigged or whatever. You get my point. He was bleeding from the head as well.
Yeah,
through the dead president's face paint.
Yes, I was just gonna bring that up. The dead president's face paint, like that presentation, like they showed up. Oh, I got hype immediately when I saw that. Best friends on an awesome plunder team, and this was great.
We should have known that too. Because Chucky T will do those stupid spots like, through the chair pyramid a couple weeks ago. Like, yeah, we should have known this one where I was at one point when, I don't know if it was a back body drop or whatever else, but towards the end of the match where the spot where Trent goes through the windshield or not through it, but like busts the windshield. I thought that his head may have hit like the beginning of the hood of the car, the back of his head, and I was like, oh no, but like didn't seem. I haven't heard anything about it, and on replay it'll like it. He there was space there, so hell of a match. Yeah. This is the LA. This is the LAX that we saw at Slammiversary in 2018.
Yeah,
it really was.
It just felt like the completion of like this thing they set up from like obviously they months ago,
Georgia.
Like they were like
right?
Georgia, yeah. They were gonna do parking lot brawl, but with the Lucha Brothers. But Santana and Ortiz asked for the best friends because they knew the best friends were fucking crazy. So the deal with it here is Santana and Ortiz and best friends use like car hoods, police baton, a sledgehammer. They were going through doors, dustpans, baseball bats, boards, and pipes, like all in one shot.
Different different various cards that were around too as well.
Yeah, this is crazy. So got the 5 from Big Dave. So amazing. I didn't go 5 myself, but
what did you give? I don't think I heard what your rating was.
I went 4.75. I coward rating it.
Coward rating. I gave it 4.5.
Yeah, I gave it a coward rating, but yeah, this was fucking great. It ruled. If you haven't seen it, go out of your way to see this. At the end of the match, Orange Cassidy pops out of the car trunk and hits Orange Cassidy with the chain. And then Chuck Taylor gave a pile driver on the hood of the car to Santana. And when I tell you they were doing like creative moves with the car, the shit that like let me know that this match was about to be lit was when they had him underneath the hood of a car, and I forgot who did the flipping senton onto them. Chucky T did the flipping senton onto the hood of the car and crunched them. I was like, oh, okay, this shit's about to be lit. You're doing environmental moves.
Environmental moves.
Environmental offense.
What was I about to ask you? What do you think of Orange Cassidy coming out of the trunk?
Bitch, I howled. Like it reminded me of when he was just randomly chilling in the bathroom. It's like, why are you here? Like,
yeah. In the which bathroom? Because there were 2 different times like that. There was a Santana Ortiz match where there was, I think, another street fight like that, and all of a sudden, Santana, I remember he opened the door, made a face, and closed the door back. And then there's also the time where Best Friends were trying to get, I think they were trying to get a tag match with Hangman and Kenny, and then like Kenny had said something, and then like all of a sudden, Orange comes from out of like the trailer bathroom, and he's like, "I heard you, motherfucker." And then he's like, and Kenny's like, "Ah, shit." And then all of a sudden, like, so this is like a spot for him where he's just like, he just comes out of nowhere. Like the thing for me was like, they're having this match, they're killing each other, and then all of a sudden, like the baby faces, like just win 3-on-2. I'm like, well, what the fuck? But, whatever.
They did beat his ass the week before, too. So, it was like a full circle thing. So, like, Sue ends up pulling up after these guys get the win.
All of this over insured property damage, Rich. All of this was over insured property damage.
God damn it. And, yeah, they get in the van.
Where was Retribution? Where's fake Antifa?
Yeah. Sue hugs her child, her bloody child, tells him to get in. Then she drives a couple feet and then gives us a meme and a gift for all time. She sticks her finger out and throws the finger up back at whoever. And Sue's over now, apparently.
Yeah.
Excellent show. Yeah, one of the best that they've done. Do you
think they get a second picture?
Yes.
Of them in the van?
Like, yes, they have to. Yeah, they have to. But yeah, this is fucking excellent. Can't say it. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out.
Great match. I think it's gonna be pretty easy for like thinking over this year in AEW. When we get to the end of the year stuff, like I think it's a lock to make my top 10 favorite matches of the year for AEW. I think it is. I think it's a lock. I don't know if it's top 5, but it's definitely close. It's close. Like I have I was thinking about this a couple weeks ago. Like number 1 match for me, like unless something else happens, it's gonna be the Iron Man match. Like that's what I thought AEW was going to be. It was gonna be like that match like once a month or twice a month. But then probably I don't know. I had to think about it, but like I was thinking like that's definitely number 1 for me, and I don't know what could come close. But number 2 is gonna be the tag match between Hangman and the Young Bucks. Hangman and Kenny versus the Young Bucks, and then after that I was trying to figure it out. But like this match is definitely in that top 10. Yeah. So you already ran down next week's show, right? Can you give that to us again?
Yeah, so it's the tag match between Sheeta and Thunder Rosa against Ivelisse and Diamante. Jericho has a promo. There's also the 6-man with Moxley, Hobbs, and Darby Allin against Team Taz and Lance Archer.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's one.
I think you mentioned Jericho has a promo.
Yeah, Jericho has a promo. MJF is in action. I don't think he's advertised against anyone, though. And Brody Lee versus Orange Cassidy for the TNT title.
Right. Okay. Should be another good show.
Yep.
This is one of, I didn't like state this, but like this is one of the best shows of Dynamite ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've seen the cage match, but it's like on the shows of the year. Like it's on that list.
Makes sense. Yeah, so I guess we start off with NXT. Or not start off, but we move on to NXT. The show opens with a non-title match. Io Shirai versus Shotzi Blackheart. I keep calling her Chauncey instead of Shotzi. I keep doing that. Great match. This was the best match that Shotzi's had in NXT. As far as from a singles perspective or a tag perspective even, or perspective. So, this match was more or less like giving her near falls on Io and her and Io selling in a way to where it's like she's, forget the part where, she beat Mia a couple weeks ago. Like she's on her way. Like she's a legitimate person that's coming in the near future. Like she'll probably be featured on takeovers in the next couple months. So I thought it was a really positive step. Finish comes where Io ends up having her halfway in the dead center of the ring, and this is a WWE ring. It is not a Stardom ring, and she hits the moonsault and she doesn't land on her flush. She lands none but shin. Yeah, none but shin. And I was like, I got tipped off on it from I think I saw Rance's tweet about it saying that, she may be the most talented wrestler in the world, but she need to figure out something with these landings for these moonsaults. And then I was like, so I was braced thinking like, oh god, it's gonna be like when she landed on
Rhea Ripley.
When she landed on Rhea Ripley, or she landed on, I think Tegan is who she got on. She landed on someone's head recently in the time between In Your House and now, where she landed on someone's head. So I saw it and I was like, and I had it braced, and I'm like, and then I see his shins, like, oh, it's just shins. I bet it hurt, but it's just shins. And at first I'm like, I was interested to see what this is going to be, because if it had been something that was that's not that bad, I was going to post I was going to send her send Rance the gif of not the gift of the video of Io hitting the moonsaulting double foot stomp on Natsuki Tayo from 2014. But yeah, yeah, but really good match. After the match, Io in fact helps her up as a play on last week's thing where at the end Io said to her, "I like you, but don't make me hurt you." So she actually does in fact seems to, the loner finally has a friend again. So we'll see where this goes from here. This could lead to, they're always sending, or not always, but every 6 months or 9 months or so, they bring the tag team champions down here to defend. So, you go ahead and have the match, showcase Io, and let Shotzi take the pin or something.
So it's like Jay Mills said when he battled Ness. After I embarrass you, I'm gonna shake your hand.
I thought you were about to use Larry Holmes after Ali, but okay, yeah, same premise. So, we end up getting, because of this match. After that, we end up getting an announcement that there will be a women's battle royal next week to determine number one contender. On the display, you see Rhea, you see Mercedes Martinez, you see Candice, you see Tegan, you see Dakota Kai, you see Raquel, you see damn near every woman in NXT that's been on TV. We'll see, but in the dead center, you see Rhea. I think they sent her side questing some more. I don't think they're going to blow off Io versus Rhea in 2 weeks. I just don't think that's going to happen, or 3 weeks or whatever the fuck. I don't think they're going to do it on a lame duck takeover show that they just pulled out their ass. I just don't, but maybe.
I think the next time the AEW does something really big, they'll probably do it head-to-head. They'll book it then.
I would rather see it there than on a random takeover. Is like, okay, like, so I'm trying to think. I did the show with Imp on Thursday. I don't remember who I thought Raquel Gonzalez could be like the person they just pull out and pluck because they've done all the protection with her. So I think out of this, you either have her as the winner or her and Rhea are gonna finally lock horns. You know, we gonna see. They're gonna have a hoss battle. So maybe they do Mercedes Martinez and that's how they send her off. I don't know.
That's what I do.
They got plenty of options. Like, she could wrestle Mia, she could wrestle Candice, she could wrestle Tegan, she could, like, you know, whatever. There's plenty of people, plenty of talent down there. Next match, you end up getting Tommaso Ciampa versus Desmond Troy. Desmond Troy is a former Denzel DeJournette.
What a, like, step down for a name. Desmond Troy sounds like an HBCU third string running back.
You could have just said college running back. you really could have said college running back. Actually, you could be like a Big Ten college running back. Yeah.
Wow.
Desmond Troy. Look, Desmond Troy ran for like 1,100 yards as a junior for Michigan State. He absolutely did. You cannot convince me that did not happen. So it was just a simple back and forth. He's now because I don't know if I tell you. Yeah, to Hootie Miles. He changed his name last week too.
Yes.
It is Ashanti something. Adonis. Yes, that's right. I was calling him Adonis last week. Yeah. So now we have Desmond Troy. Desmond Troy is no longer in the 90s hip hop gimmick, like looking like he's no longer doing that. He is basically in the singlet as a shooter. So he does a little bit of tussling with Tommaso Ciampa, and he's bigger than Ciampa, so he's rough has him and throw him around a little bit. And Ciampa cuts him off and just kills him. So after that, Jake Atlas, who he murdered like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, comes out and says, "Hi, if you don't remember me, I'm the guy whose ass you kicked the other week." I was like, no. Rich, I shit you not. He literally said, "I'm the guy whose ass you kicked the other week." That is not hyperbole. That is not me like summarizing his words. If he didn't say exactly what I said, he said 95% of what I said, and maybe I'm forgetting a comma or a apostrophe or something there. But that is almost verbatim exactly what he said with his quote. "I'm the guy whose ass you kicked last week or the other week."
They find new ways to make niggas geeks. Like, they find new ways.
Rich, I could not fucking believe this.
Who told him to say this?
So, he said,
wow.
He said something, but I can't remember because I was just like just taken aback and my mouth agape. And just like, did this dude really just say this? Yeah. This is just fighting words? I'm the guy who's asked you if I want a piece next week, but he asked for a piece next week. And boy,
yikes.
Oh my God. They should have a good match. Two very talented guys, obviously. They did this before with Ciampa a few months ago, where they had him murder Austin Theory, and then he had a match with Austin Theory, and that was a really good match. That was at a point where I was thinking, like, Austin Theory might be next, because I didn't realize that he was, like, 5'11". I thought he was, like, 6'2". Once I realized 5'11", I was like, oh, no, you're not going to be next Randy Orton. That's not for you. That's not for you. Not going to happen.
Also, like, he's like...
That's before we knew about that. That's before we knew about...
Nah, I'm not even talking about that. It's like, No, he's Austin Theory. Like, it's just not like.
But the thing was, Rich, they were putting him. The people they were putting him in the ring with, they were clearly grooming him to have good matches with people that could have good matches with him. Because clearly, the dude's talented. It's just there's something missing, and a lot of that might be due to experience. But like they were putting him in there with Ciampa, and then like they had him in there with someone else of that ilk of like a top of the line guy. Like it may have been like Roddy. Like they had him in the ring
because I see him and Darby Allin as contemporaries because they were in Evolve at the same time.
What's the other reason?
Well, yeah.
They both may be lying about how old they actually are.
Oh, yeah. Darby Allin definitely in that. We don't know how old he is. And look, I think both of them guys are from Georgia. Well, no, Darby's from the Northwest, but he spent time in Georgia.
I think it's Idaho.
Yes. Yep. But yeah. Like I see them as contemporaries, right? And I'm like, well, which one would you rather have? Like, I don't know, man. Like, so I don't know. I just kind of look at Austin Theory funny based on that. But
well, yeah, like Darby's a better worker than him. Like, yeah, he absolutely is. But you know, like I feel like they're in the right spot for both of them based off of what their skill sets and what they can bring to the table. Huh?
Agreed.
Yeah. Like they wouldn't let him do that kind of stuff in WWE. Hell no.
And by that kind of stuff, anything good.
Well, by that stuff I meant like, oh yeah, go out here and like, yeah, jump off the bridge and then shoot it. Yeah, and get that approved. Like, actually, you know what? I take that back. Vince would probably see that and be like, that's great. And then after that would just be his thing. Just the like.
He would literally be riding the half pipe on Raw every week.
I don't even know about the X Games part. I was talking as far as like the thrill seeking part. Like I think Vince would get a kick. I think Vince would got a kick out of the thrill seeking thing, and he would have figured out how to put that on TV. But then he would never like try to make him into some semblance of a bankable character on TV. They would even like, let's just have him out here like backstage and catering, and then like whenever he comes up with his next stunt that he wants to air, we'll put it out there for the people. But like matches, nah, for what? We really don't even want to do matches here. You know,
like if you want a facsimile of how Darby Allin would be treated in WWE,
Cracker Barrel Clash, good Lord, no.
Look at Aleister Black.
Skateboarding on the ramp, like skateboarding with thumbtacks. No, they're not doing that. They're not doing that in WWE. No, not a chance. And I don't even necessarily want to see that, even if they were going to use Darby Allin to his fullest potential in WWE. He's like, nah, bro. I want to see him like have kick-ass matches without like trying to maim people, or without trying to get to that, because like I don't really. They're not good with violence, hyper violence. WWE, at least not right now. Maybe before, but not now. Like a heel gets embarrassed, like you expect the next week, like, oh, that heel's gonna fuck someone up. They don't even follow up in that kind of way often. Whereas like, oh, you know, you got the best of him now, but like he's furious. Like those like inner circle beatdowns we've seen over the like last year.
Yeah,
you don't really see that kind of stuff on the main roster anymore. And it's not like, you know, Jericho and them are like, you know, killing people, but it's like, gotta let them know. It's like, no, we don't need to let them know.
We're not here to fuck around.
Like, we don't need to let them know because they're going to win the feud at the end because our heels go over all the time. It doesn't matter. Like, I mean, I guess you can say Corbin. I would say Corbin. Corbin lays that beat downs on people after he gets embarrassed. But like, that's kind of it.
Yeah, Baron Corbin will lose the match to you and then immediately lay you out with his finish.
Yeah, no one gets over. No one gets over.
Quick.
So yeah, after we end up getting a early in the day video package where Drake Maverick is walking to the arena, or walking to the campus, walking to Full Sail, and he says, I've been trying to reach out to, we have a tag match, it's me and it is Killian Dane versus Undisputed, based off of what's been going on.
I'm telling you, bro, once you start getting linked with Killian Dane in NXT, that's like the death knell, like.
Kind of. And he's talking to the interviewer, and he's like, I'm trying to get a hold of him. Do you know his number? No, whatever. But okay, well, we have a match scheduled, but like, we'll figure it out. It's fine. So,
Killian Dane look like he don't even own a phone, bitch.
Yes, that does not look like the most sophisticated man. But whatever. Looks can be deceiving. So we end up getting a video package from Finn Balor. He's backstage in the same smoke thing that he does in the black and white, and he talks about how like he's, last time he was NXT champion, he was doing all the press for everyone. This time, none of that shit. I'm just doing me. And the focus is, being the best wrestler. And then it's like you're in a promotion for that. So wrong company for that. But anyway, he ends up saying like, there's going to be a new title challenger. He's like, that's what's next. That's what's new. He's like, whatever challenge is, bring it forward. In the background, they show people like Walter because, that was a match that was supposed to be at a UK takeover that got scrapped. I think it was supposed to be Dublin, right? It was supposed to be on Dublin. Showed.
Well, I'm glad we didn't have to watch Walter lose to Finn Balor.
Looking back, yeah, he probably would have lost. That would have sucked. Well, no. NXT UK. I don't think he would have won the UK title. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know. Well, then again, like, yeah, if Finn wins, then he can come bring the UK title to NXT in Full Sail, and then he could be a Brock Lesnarian figure to the UK for the tapings. And they only tape every 3 weeks, those tapings. So like he could have made those trips. It would have they could have done that.
Nice.
Who knows? We'll see.
Like the Brock Lesnar figure, not named Walter. Like, like what the fuck?
Good point. Like that's another thing about like the Roman Reigns thing is like, oh, so Brock left, so like now he's Brock. So Brock left, so now Roman is Brock, more or less. Okay, whatever. Like I don't hate it, I don't dislike it, but it's like that's the only way you know how to make the top star you have in your company is to like make him to this person that like could be off-putting in a way that's not like conducive to traditional, like I want to pay to see that person get beat, as opposed like I feel like they're setting this up in a way that's like I don't know, but
like
whatever.
I don't know, like I'm not sure where they're headed with it, but
just have good matches.
I'm gonna be watching because like if they fuck this up, like it'd be like, hey, y'all did this shit.
Y'all turned a cancer. Y'all turned a 2-time cancer survivor heel for this. You better not fuck this up.
Yeah, well, I'm into it at the beginning simply because of the change in alignment.
Yeah,
let's see if it's any good now.
Yeah, I like it too. It's just because it definitely changed a very still status quo. But I'm also very aware of like that's all you did is like you just made like damn like.
So it's almost like all that stuff that they said that why they couldn't turn him before was cap.
Well, we always knew that. Like sometimes I had another thought. Right, we talk about how they screwed up Roman and how it traces back to the Daniel Bryan insertion in like a couple weeks before that Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if Daniel Bryan never gets hurt? Like, is that one of the 5 greatest? Is that one of the 10 greatest? Like, 5 or 10 greatest what ifs of pro wrestling in the last? I don't know of the last decade. Because like
honestly,
hold on, let me finish it out. If he does, I don't mean the second time where he retires for a couple years. I mean like the second one where like he's gone from after that match with Kane until that Royal Rumble 15. Because if he's healthy, we know that he's going to SummerSlam to get the squashing that Cena got.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's going to be the champion all the way through. He's already been, the title reign has been cut short. He would have gotten the treatment that Kofi just got. Right? People would have been mad at Brock the good kind of mad at Brock. And then people would have remembered Roman with Batista from the year before. How people rooted for him to whatever else. Like, I guess it's a twofold thing because Roman also got hurt. But if he's healthy, it leaves them it gives them more room for like everybody. Nobody's like necessarily against him, and Daniel Bryan's been moved out the way for Brock Lesnar, as opposed to moved out the way for Roman Reigns. Like, granted, they still have a whole bunch of stuff to do where it's like he should be feuding with Seth as opposed to whatever the fuck he was doing after the Shield broke up. But that's another stuff. Whatever else. There's another discussion. But it's like, I think there's a big what if. Like, I feel like he gets over if he doesn't get hurt and Daniel Bryan don't get hurt in 2014.
You know what? I'm not sure because
we're relitigating it. We're going over this again because it's like this is where like the Titanic and iceberg. Like like, oh my god, all these things trace back to this thing. Well, really, all of it traced back to when like they brought Brock Lesnar in, and then they had Cena beat him in the first fucking pay-per-view. That's really where that's the real that's a real part right there because like everything out there is like we gotta get Brock Lesnar over. We gotta get Brock Lesnar over. Why do you beat him here? You fucking idiots.
Yeah. People would have been mad. Like, the thing Daniel Bryan had, once in a lifetime.
Yep.
And WWE, to their credit, can cool somebody's jets and get people to not believe in them and can ruin some shit. So I won't underestimate him there. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how that necessarily flips into a positive for Reigns, because at that point, like, if Daniel Bryan doesn't go away,
well, I guess
the Shield doesn't have a reason to break up. So, aside from hey, it's time to break up the Shield, rather than hey, Bryan, the top babyface is down, we need to create two other people, essentially.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, you know, looking back at it in retrospect, it's like we always thought like it was a year too early for Roman. Like he hadn't, going singles anyway. Like he wasn't, or let me phrase it. He was a year away from being ready to be a main eventer as a singles act. Like as a Shield, he can do whatever the fuck he wanted, right? But the thing was, like, when you look back at it, like you look at the options, like, obviously, it's because Daniel Bryan. This is part because it's exacerbated and hurried because Daniel Bryan gets hurt, so they need two baby faces, and they pick two out of three of the Shield and turn the other one heel. But it's also the looming thing of we want Roman to be the next guy, and John Cena is telling us that his time is ticking as far as when he's going to go Hollywood, which is like at the time we didn't have that part of the math as far as like their decision making process. And it was like, okay, they started him a year early because like they wanted to get the ball rolling on this and make make some type of transition while Cena could eventually put Roman over, but like they kept getting stuck in this loop of going back to Brock and Roman over and over and over because they fucked it up the first time because of the assertion of Daniel Bryan back. And it's like,
I think the Cena thing's a big factor too, because then you have Cena and Bryan still there. So I think it's real hard to, and they were gonna try to ask fans.
It was inevitable that they were going to go to Roman. It was inevitable to go to Roman, and at that time
they were going to say, "Hey, don't pick John Cena, fans. Don't pick Roman or Daniel Bryan, but pick Roman Reigns." Like we remember WrestleMania 31, they gave Cena and Bryan the mid-card belts to like buffer Roman Reigns at any point. So it's like I've never seen someone get set up like they were determined for this man not to fail, and he still fucking failed. Like
because they screwed it all up. Because they kept having to rob Peter to pay Paul, and then ultimately, like all the stuff they did where they screwed from. We go back to the Lesnar shit coming back. Like we gotta get him over. We gotta get him over. Okay. How do we get him over to where he would have been before we stupidly had Cena beat him up because we were upset that Brock Lesnar left? Okay, have him break the streak. You didn't want to say that for Roman fucking Reigns? Like, say to establish him as a single star? Like, all of this stuff is just like a cycle of bad decisions that
That
were bad in real time, and then are worse after because you have to make even more rash decisions.
Because now we have the answer.
Decision making.
We didn't have the answer before, but maybe it'll work out. No, we have the answer now. We've looked in the back of the textbook and say, this is the date this happens on, and they never actually do Cena versus Roman Reigns at any meaningful event. They dump that shit at No Mercy 2017. What?
It's crazy. And the best explanation they have for it is, that pay-per-view was in Staples Center. Then why was a SummerSlam there? Who gives a shit? Fuck. It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you're right. Conversation it's bad in real time, and then it got worse looking back on in retrospect. And it's you keep making more bad, poor decisions to try to fix what you've already broken, and you keep breaking it worse and worse and worse. And now, all right, we have a 2-time cancer survivor is a fucking heel. The
heel champion.
I can't believe they're raising the heel now. I felt like it was him and Cena had reached that point. Cena because it went so long and now it's what can he possibly do as a heel? That would make it intriguing enough to be this is a new take and it's going to be great compared to the cash cow that was John Cena. And then Roman is he just beat blood cancer. What are we doing? It's cool. It's interesting. But I'm thinking this the dude is going to be doing Make-A-Wishes still?
No. Oh, okay.
He probably still is. He probably still is going to do that or whatever else, but it's I thought that he was going to be...
What happened to all this merch he was selling, James? What happened to that?
I think he's still selling merch. I think that new shirt's doing pretty well. But, I mean, compared to what he was... but even when he was the top dude, it's going into WrestleMania 34, he was a top merch seller, but he was, by all accounts, number one with AJ on his ass. So it's he's no more merch guy. He's the biggest star y'all have. But given what he developed into, because you mismanaged him, and he's not nearly as big as he should be, given what he actually developed to over time. You said I don't know about his promos. He became a good promo, or a dependable promo, whatever you feel. Before he wasn't a good promo at all. Now he's actually someone you can give the mic to and trust in or whatever else to deliver Vince's word salad. And then 2016, 17 pay-per-view matches, he had a bunch of good ass pay-per-view matches. And then they decided we don't want to do that. We want to have these matches. So it's They just made it. They just oh my god, what are they doing to this poor dude?
And he goes on the Observer Hall of Fame ballot this year. That's going to be interesting.
Oh my god, that's. I don't even want to touch that. Anyway, you can move on back to NXT. My phone just froze. Basically, Austin Theory comes out. He throws more fat jokes at Bronson Reed, and he offers an open challenge. The person that answers the open challenge is Kushida, who proceeds to beat the fuck out of Austin Theory. This is, how do I say this? This is like watching Konami in a match with Lasaya.
Wow.
I'm going to beat the shit out of you. I'm going to grab one of your arms, and I'm going to try to break it. And it whooped his ass. Actually, I don't even think it actually broke down to a full-on match. It just turned into, he was on Austin Theory's ass, and then, he started putting him in arm bars, with rope-assisted arm bars, and the refs had to come get this man, because he was kicking too much ass and he didn't have a match. He just beat the shit out of him. I'm assuming this is supposed to be a indignant babyface Kushida, as he eventually takes on Velveteen Dream. Because Velveteen Dream attacked him a few weeks ago, and we hadn't seen Kushida since. So we're on the road towards Kushida versus Velveteen Dream, which is, every time you ever see Kushida on NXT, it's like, God damn, he's a great wrestler. And the last few times
he disappears for like 8 weeks.
Like 3 or 4 weeks. But my point was, like, every time you see Kushida, you're like, damn, that's a great wrestler right there. That's one of the best wrestlers in the world. And then every time you, like, lately, or in 2020, when you see Velveteen Dream, which you shouldn't see on TV anyway, but when we do see him, we're like, oh my God, what is going on with this fucking guy? Yeah, so hopefully Kushida can get that shit right. And they shouldn't even have this match on because Velveteen should be on TV, but we'll see what comes of this. Okay, so after that, we end up getting Candice cutting a promo on her phone to Tegan, and all of a sudden Johnny interrupts, talking about how during the scuffle inside of the Gargano residence with Tegan from the week before, while they were throwing stuff at each other, Candice had threw something at Tegan. Tegan ducked, and it hit the big screen, the flat screen. And Johnny then says, I can't believe we have to watch NXT off the laptop in standard definition. It's like the only saving grace that these guys suck, so maybe it wouldn't be so bad to watch them on HD. But then I forgot what Candice finished off by saying. I think she's more annoyed by Johnny interrupting her promo. So then we end up getting NXT Tag Title match, rematch actually. Breezango versus Eichner and Bartel, and this is easily the best match that Breezango has had as a tag team coming back to WWE or NXT.
Bro, so breaking kayfabe here. So we're recording this show very late Saturday night, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, you want to know what's on right now, James?
What's on right now?
The fucking V1 is on right now.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah.
No, funny. Okay. Yeah. My bad.
Yeah. I didn't realize. I figured it'd be later. I didn't realize they were doing a Sunday midday show. But yeah. So what was I going to say? Or afternoon show. Yeah. So they had a very good match. You get heat on Fandango first. Sets up the hot tag for Breeze. Really good match. Like, I'd probably give it 3.5. I was surprised they didn't have a match. My expectations were so low for it, thinking like it's gonna be some junk or whatever else. But at the end, the finish ends up being they get Breeze stacked up, and they're going to go for their power bomb, Doomsday device power bomb finish. Fandango pushes Buddy off of the top turnbuckle, and I believe it's Eichner that has him up in the powerbomb position. Hurricane Rana to a Rana pin for the 3. It was a finish. I was like, if this was in front of a crowd, it would have popped big because he was like, oh, look at the surprise, roll up or whatever else. Or if this was anywhere else, but it's like we're in front of the Full Sail audience. And like, I gotta say, this week between Daly's Place and the Plants, I thought the Plants and Daly's Place did a very good job cheering for the wrestling in the way they should. So, shouts out for them. We normally get on them when they stink, but I thought they both did a good job. But, it's just not the same as like in front of the 400, full sellers. So, next match after that, or next thing after that, we end up getting Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter versus Xia Li and Jessica Maya. This was rich. We talked about Caden and Casey and like, what the fuck? Where are they? We know they're talented.
How did they ever?
They went out there and had their normal Largo Minreg Hall match. Fast, quick, athletic, do moves, fun stuff, and ended up getting the win. After the match, Xia Li came out, new outfit, similar outfit but new.
Speaking of outfits, this nigga Juice Robinson, I don't know what the fuck he's doing out here.
Is it worse than before?
Okay, so it's like this man's wearing like a white tank top and some brown shiny pants or whatever, and his hair is like halfway buzzed and the hair is just slicked back in the middle. Like this man looks like, I don't get it. Like this man was on the door of like superstardom, like aesthetically, and then he's gone backwards ever since. But yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Like bad. Like I don't know if you be able to see this, right? Like, bro, what is he doing? Like
he looks like. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing with his hair. I don't know, and I haven't known what he's been doing with his hair for like the past like 6, 7, 8 months, 9 months.
The hair, the outfit, the everything, just nah, man.
I don't get the beater. Maybe he's out of shape. I don't know.
Yikes! That man been out there with Tony Storm. That man mine ain't on the wrestling right now. That man's mine somewhere else. Man's in love.
Hey, we can't be blaming it on Tony Storm. You know what I bet Tony Storm looks like? The Tony Storm we remember. So don't blame that on Tony Storm. I didn't even know they were together. So there you go. Yeah, but back to the tag match. Like, it's Zaya was really good. Casey was really good. Kane's really good. Kane ended up match ends on this cool looking move where Kane has had Zaya in like the crucifix bomb position, like she had basically like hooked up on her back, and then Casey comes off the ropes and then drop kicks her, and then you get the crucifix bomb, and then Casey basically jumps over the top and basically Matchbox covers her legs for the pin. After the match, the babyfaces try to shake the loser's hands. Jesse takes the handshakes. Zaya just walks off. So looks like there's some development there. Maybe she turn her heel. They could use her. They could use a bottom of the card prelim heel. They could. Because it's too stacked. It's like how am I supposed to get matches when there's like a murderer's row of you motherfuckers? Like, if it ain't Io, it's Rhea. If it ain't Rhea, it's Candice LeRae. If it's not Candice LeRae, it's Dakota Kai. If it's not Dakota Kai, it's Mia Yim. If it's not Mia Yim, it's Mercedes Martinez. God damn.
Fun times.
So they're getting ready for Drake Maverick and Killian Dane versus Undisputed Era. Undisputed Era this week is Bobby Fish and Fish and Rude. So backstage, Drake Maverick walks up on Killian Dane and is like, "Hey man, you ready for the match?" He's like, "I'm not being in partners with you. I don't want to do this. So go out there. Look, just take the L or whatever else." So. He didn't say take the L, but he was like, "I'm not doing this match. It's fucking stupid. I won't tag with you." So Drake Maverick was like, "Okay then." Walks his ass down to the ring. I think Undisputed came out first. Walks his ass down to the ring. Gear was raw, by the way. Looked like some 90. What year was Dudes with Attitude? 96?
Dudes with Attitude.
I'm sorry. Good Friends, Better Enemies.
96.
96 Sean gear and colorway.
He ain't the only one that's out here looking like Shawn Michaels out here.
Well, a lot of people. I don't know what you mean, but...
Oh, Damian Priest.
Those are like the same pants he wore in that Balor match at In Your House.
Yeah, I guess it's something like...
Maybe it's because it's white and, Shawn Michaels...
look like WrestleMania.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably like 93... Like, basically Sherry Martel, Shawn Michaels gear. Yeah, I can see that now that I'm thinking about, like, younger Shawn Michaels. Not, the template that we all, people have copied for the last, Anyway. So, Drake brings that out to the ring. Roddy's in the ring. Roddy... Look, we know Roddy, it don't matter the stakes, it don't matter whatever else. All he gonna do is go, and all he did was go, and he went through Drake Maverick. He gave this man some of the nastiest backbreakers, and as Drake Maverick saying, he can sell his ass off. He's selling his ass off. You get to a point where you're just like, he mounts a comeback at one point just against those two, and you're like, this shouldn't work, but like, this is entertaining. And then they cut to the back, and they show Dane basically taking a seat where he got confronted by Maverick, and they're watching the TV like backstage, and he's getting wailed on Maverick, and he's sitting there laughing with the rest of the crowd laughing at it, and I'm like, oh my fucking god, dude. So then all of a sudden Regal shows up. And says, why are you not out there for your match? I don't want to do that match. You were booked for the match. More or less like, get your ass out there. You want me to be in the match? Fine, I'll go out there. He walks out there. The match spills to the outside. No, sorry, actually, yeah. Maverick spills to the outside. Undisputed both get into the ring. He walks up on Maverick and says, you want help? Here's your help. Picks him up, rolls him in the ring, says, take the L like a man, or lose like a man. And he goes to walk away. So then they both, the two heels, Undisputed, come out to the floor with Maverick. They actually knock his ass back out the ring and then to the floor, and then they both get down there, and he says, as he's walking up the ramp, Killian Dane, I think it's Roddy that says, yeah, get the hell out of here, you big, I think he called him either an ape, something about how hairy he was, and it involved first with animal. Yeah. Then you see the camera angle. He flashes. He turns around, comes back into the ring. He clears house. And then they take one of the Undisputed dudes grabs a chair to the lip of the chair to the gut, throw it out DQ, and then Drake and them clear the ring.
So we couldn't do a finish.
Hold on. We are not done. Actually, you know what? Actually, yeah, go there. Say it. Go ahead. We cannot get a finish in this match. Yes,
so
we cannot.
We couldn't get a finish in Drake Maverick and Killian Dane versus the
Bobby
Undisputed Era.
I almost called him Bobby Roode.
Excuse me. Yes. Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong.
Yep. Right.
Who the fuck are we protecting here?
We could not possibly pin Bobby Fish. Not a chance.
Possibly pin Drake Maverick. What the fuck?
Right. No. There's more. We're going to get to Drake Maverick because...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
So after that, and they cleared the ring, and he's like, me and you, huh? We got to win. We got to win, man. We got to win. I think he gives him an attaboy and slaps him on the shoulder. This fucking guy, I knew it was going to happen. It's like, he's going to punch him in the face, isn't he? He punches him in the fucking face, knocks him out again. I'm like, God fucking damn it. What? Like, one is hilarious, but two is like, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all have no... Did you just want me going to rant last week about how they kill their fucking baby faces? It's like they listen to the show and they're like, how can we piss James off every single week?
Yo, this man... I was listening to Brian and Vinny, and they said they booked this man better when he was without a job. Like,
right.
Who is he supposed to get over with? Like, who is he inspiring?
Not nobody no more.
Believe in him.
He's just a fucking idiot. He's just an idiot now.
Yuck. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Yep.
Can't do no finishes there though.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, can't possibly be Bobby Fish. Unbelievable. So, after that we get Jake out, more baby faces getting their ass whipped. Jake Atlas is outside in the walking towards his car, or he is outside in the dark in the on campus at Full Sail, walking around, and he gets jumped. He gets put in the jump zone by Ciampa, and the person that makes the save for him is Kyle O'Reilly. Now, when Undisputed was after the shit that happened with Adam Cole, where he got so like he got knocked out and getting kicked in the chest, he the next week they beat the shit out of not Damian Priest, but Killian Dane and Drake Maverick. And then they start beating up more people. And as they kept beating up more people, like a couple weeks ago, Kyle O'Reilly was like, hey man, you ain't have to do this. You ain't have to beat these dudes up. Like, it's cool, bro. You ain't have to do all this. Like, y'all being extra right now. So he makes a save for Ciampa. I'm sorry, for Atlas. And he basically warns Ciampa, like, me and you're going to wrestle in the next couple weeks, basically. That's basically what he's telling us. And as other people are attending to Atlas, he's like, get up, man, you're fine. Yeah, so, like, they may be teasing, a babyface turn for Kyle O'Reilly. I don't know, but we'll see. I just want to see Kyle O'Reilly versus Ciampa. That'd be awesome. Or, versus Atlas. That'd be awesome, too. So then we end up getting an announcement from Regal. Remember last week I said, like, he has 2 announcements? And I was like, I bet one of them is some convoluted match or tournament to determine the number 1 contender for one of the titles. Well, I was right. They're going to do a 5-person gauntlet match where the rules are you can get pinned or submitted at any time, and a new person comes out not after a person is pinned and submitted, but after the 4-minute time limit. So
it's like people have been saying it's like Aztec Warfare and Lucha Underground, like something like that.
Never seen it. Look,
sounds cool. I'm not going to kill him over it.
Like, for me, it's like, I think it's gonna be a good match. It's like, okay, you get 4 guys and you get 2 guys wrestle, 4 minutes go by, like, they wrestle or whatever else, and then, like, I like the part where you can get pinned and submitted anytime. It's not like everybody has to get in before someone get pinned and submitted. So I like that. So I'm good with that. Like, I go out there and have a good half hour long match. Fine by me. Let's see. What was the other announcement? I can't remember.
The women's battle royal, right?
Yes. No. No, I think they announced that earlier in the show. I forgot what the second announcement was. I can't remember. I think it was a takeover date. I think it was the second announcement or the first announcement.
Always got to hype that on social media.
Yeah. So, then we end up getting Damian Priest versus North American title match. Damian Priest versus Timothy Thatcher. Whoo! What a match! They beat the shit out of each other. Strikes, and every time it's like, this dude's out striking me, I'm gonna grab a limb to try to even the advantage, and then it turns to Priest just like, I have my striking ability, but like, I have a bad leg right now. I have a bad forearm, and like, it's inhibiting my striking, and he's throwing up blocks, and it's hurting me and everything. It's just good ass match. And also, it played a story on the film study that Thatcher did the week before, where he's like, he does the Razor's Edge thing, like, or whatever else. That's him wasting time. I'll just grab his leg, and then he works over his leg in the match. And then, every time he sees he's a great striker, but every time he throws a strike, he leaves out a body part. You see that forearm? I'll just slap a Kimura on it. He did that throughout the match. Like, so it played into everything. And Thatcher, when he's in the ring with a striker, apparently, he's going to have a great match. Like, whether it's Riddle or it's Priest, he's just going to have a great match with anybody that throws strikes, because he's going to grind them down, and then eventually going to stand back up. Or also, Lorcan. We're just like, we're going to throw blows, and we're going to just throw Chris strikes at each other, and then I'm going to throw in some missions or whatever else, and like, it just looks really good in this fun matches, like all of them. So, at the end, Priest ends up winning with a top turnbuckle spinning heel kick that looks like it defies physics. It was awesome. Great match. Rich, is a match I suggest that I recommend for you to watch on NXT. But yeah, like this is really good ass match. How come Matt Thatcher's having a good match with everybody except for Finn Balor?
Huh. Indeed. The question.
Yeah. That was the end of the show. Next week they have the women's battle royal. They have the gauntlet match. Should be a fun episode as well. More great Wednesday wrestling. I feel like once a month I'm just like, these two shows both knocked out the park on the same week, and that's how I felt about both these shows. Like I thought AEW was a better show, but I thought this was also a great show as well.
Yeah. So don't forget, this show is brought to you guys by Manscaped. It actually finally died, and I had to charge it today. So it's been weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks.
It's actually been months.
Months before, I had to throw it back on the charger today. And it was like, man, I'm going to actually have to tell the people that I actually had to charge it after months and months and months. So you guys can see the battery power there yourselves. Don't forget, of course, you can use that 20% off code. Use the code SUPLEX on manscaped.com. Get your free shipping and 20% off. It's manscaped.com. Use the code SUPLEX. They've got the quiet stroke technology. Trim the junk of yours. 90 minutes straight through, or a long time, depending on how much you actually use it. They got the skin safe technology and everything else on the site. That's not just the razor. They've got a lot of different things to make you smell good, and I think they got some merchandise on there too. So don't forget, 20% off and free shipping with the code SUPLEX at manscaped.com.
Yeah. So just a heads up for y'all, because next week is a WWE pay-per-view. We're going to do a midweek show. I don't know if that's going to be probably Thursday or Wednesday. I'm not sure. No, definitely not Wednesday. Take that back. I take it all back. It's going to be on a Thursday. It's going to be on a Thursday or Friday. And we'll go through that. We'll probably find a guest to help us out, obviously. Do some heavy lifting on that end. I'll talk to you about who I hope that we can grab, but and then while we do that, we'll also catch up on and run through the G1 happenings as well. And
interesting first day.
Okay. I have not watched it, full disclosure. I have not watched it yet because I am waiting for Stardom's Grand Prix final that aired on Saturday or last night or whatever else, to be fully put up, and then I'll watch that in its entirety, and then I'll catch up on the G1. So, half the show is already up, so, hopefully I can get this done by Monday, and then I can catch up on G1 and not have to be 3 days behind and be like, oh yeah, you're catch up on 4 fucking shows. Be like, oh, I quit in week 1. I didn't even make it to week 1. I'm already
how
tapped
fast
out.
can you get out of here? Like,
yes.
How long can you last in the G1?
Yes, that is a real thing. Like last year, it took me I probably made it a week and a half or 2 weeks, and that was the first ever going. Like, I plan on watching all episodes, and it's a lot easier now because there's no undercard tags. So even I take it back, it's not easy for me because I was already on the James Boyd Bridge version where fuck them tags. I'm just trying to see these single bouts. I'm trying to see who's bouted in these single bouts. So that is just 5 matches. There really is no excuse. If I don't watch a whole G1 now, I'm just never gonna have time to watch a whole G1. It is what it is. Like, you be 91 matches, James Boyd ain't gonna ever be able to do it. So
shame.
Yeah. It's a shame that I can't watch 91 matches of
over a month.
Right. With the fucking NBA Finals on deck.
Yes. During the NBA Finals.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, man. But yeah, that's the end of the show. Be sure to rate us on whatever app you're using to listen to this. Tell the folks about the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Be sure to visit ProWrestlingTees.com/Social Suplex to pick up some official Social Suplex Podcast Network merchandise. Be sure to check out the other shows on the network. On Sundays, we have this show, One Nation Radio. On Tuesdays, we have Keepin It Strong Style. On Wednesdays, we have the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Podcast. And on every other Wednesday, we have Roman Watch This Shit. On Thursdays, we have the Grave Consequences Podcast. On Fridays, we have 8-Bit Suplex. And on Saturdays, we have All Things Elite. Thanks for listening, y'all.
Well, holla at y'all. Check me out on 8-Bit Suplex if you missed it.
Yeah. How'd that go?
Pretty good. We talked about Impact. We talked about Fire Pro Wrestling and like the history of the game and different stuff about the going from like PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 4, how it all works. And we talked about Xbox and PlayStation, like their rollouts of their new systems.
Their new gen consoles?
Yep.
Okay.
So definitely check that out.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see y'all on somewhere in the midweek, and we'll give you all the WWE, New Japan, and Stardom stuff. So we'll holler at y'all later.
Yeah. Peace.